Hey, what's up, team? It's Sherman here from Boss Mod. Today we're talking about the ISFJ. Um, Before we get into it, let's break down the system that I use, the model that I use here for the adventuring party to understand your mental wiring. So you have basically four main parts. The first one is your dominant cognitive function. So that is your hero. That's your main style, the class that you play. Okay? That's you have a compulsion to do it. It's just part of you. You probably don't even think about it as being a part of you because it's just so in there. You think everybody acts like that, right? After that, you have your companion. Your companion is the auxiliary cognitive function, and that gives you another perspective. And in your case, it helps you make decisions. And both your dominant function and your auxiliary function, so your hero and your companion, work really well together to handle most of your problems and anything that comes up. But every once in a while, you need other perspectives, right? So with that, you have your tertiary cognitive function, which is the newbie in this system. And the newbie is, as you can expect, a newbie and sometimes causes some problems, doesn't quite hit the mark with everything it wants to do, but there's kind of a draw to use it because it's easy for you to use. I'll get into it a little bit more too, but after that is your fourth function, your inferior or aspirational function. And in this model, it is the escort. And in this case, I mean escort as in like the NPC that you have to follow through this escort quest, and he kind of runs amok, but he's part of your group, and if everything works out, you get to, get that sweet loot from helping him on his quest. So, for you as an ISFJ, you lead with Introverted Sensing, and I think of that as a guardian, like a tank warrior. Okay, very secure, wants to focus on stability and like not just burst damage or anything like that, right? Just take that solid approach to life and to engagements. What it's really doing in like a technical term is it focuses on things that your senses can pick up, right? Things, sight and smell and taste and all that stuff. Tangible things. And so you notice those, and then you actually kind of store them within your mental database and kind of organize them, I guess, like a library or something like that. And then when you live your life and you approach like a new situation, you go back into your past and kind of think, how was this in the past? How can I expect it to be now and into the future? This might come out a lot through like kind of seeing videos, essentially, like in your mind of like, this is how it happened, or photographs or whatever. Like, it's not abstract at all. So back to the RPG stuff. It's that slow, steady, methodical tank. You can think of it as an elf warrior too. I consider the introverted functions to be like elves and the extroverted functions to be like dwarves. And then sensing is like melee, like really close to the actual thing, right? Some of the abilities that you have among kings, to raise your party's experience to match the highest. So you highly regard authority or more experienced people, and you learn from their behaviors. If you're an ISFJ or even an ISTJ, this probably sounds right to you. Even in like, yeah, that's fine. Battle training, you've trained hard and learned from the best, so you take less damage. Focus on the tried and true methods to inform your decisions. You don't need to reinvent the wheel because you study what works, you study how other people do it, and you use that as you approach the new situation. Moment of clarity. So all elves have at least one ability that kind of just separates them from the battle, because this is how us introverts work. You need to step back and gather your thoughts, or you're going to get overwhelmed. Moment of clarity will make you untargetable, and you go into your past and use it to make sense of the environment. You have a lot of shield abilities. Shield slam, basically every bit of experience and resources add up when tackling a new task. Shield block, predict, and block an attack. So predictability and stability is really important, especially for you, because you want to create that structure in your life. You want to know what's going to happen. Taunt. I like taunt. Taunt targets to attack you and take on more duty and responsibility than most, because you know you can handle it and you want the job done right. And especially as an ISFJ, you want to help people physically and promote harmony and like make sure everybody feels good in the situation, right? So that's some of your abilities. You can check below. I'll have a link and you can read a lot more on it. After that, you have your companion. So like I said, you need to kind of balance out your tank spec, right? Like just a tank guardian warrior is not gonna be able to take on a dragon and all these monsters by himself, right? So your companion is extroverted feeling. Extroverted feeling, I consider it to be like a cleric, a dwarf healer, just area of effect heals and kind of making sure the whole environment is taken care of, like making sure people's needs are met and everybody feels good and there's not like fighting between your group. Yeah, like another thing that extroverted feeling does is kind of pick up emotions in the people around you. So like if somebody's sad, you see that and then you start feeling sad about that, right? And happy as well. So you naturally want to be a mood maker and make sure everybody's happy. So that's kind of cool. And so think of your companion and your style, your hero, working very well together, like as you would imagine a tank and a healer do, right? Like your companion is your pocket healer that just helps you go out and explore the world. But the problem is being an introvert, being an elf as your style and mine as well, it's not easy to just go out there and explore the scary world, right? You want to take your time and understand things before you actually embrace them. So the other decision-making function that you would have is, for you, introverted thinking. It's the mirror opposite of extroverted feeling. So if extroverted feeling is all focused on other people's emotions, introverted thinking is more about the logic and your technical understanding of things based on your past. So what worked in the past and what have you learned, and then you use that as leverage to make decisions. And it's really good to use that every once in a while, but the problem is it's not as high-leveled, it's not as skilled as extroverted feeling is for you, that cleric. Because it's a newbie, right? It's like a level 10 where everybody else, well, the hero and the companion are like level 30. So he's still figuring out how to use his abilities, maybe hasn't unlocked them all. And I think of this introverted thinking as an arcanist, guy that's summoning this knowledge and power from within him and using that as leverage, to attack the mobs and minions around, right? So just be careful not to use it as the final say in making decisions, because it's gonna sound like it's a lot more skilled than than you're gonna want to admit, because it's not really as strong as you think it is. But the problem is, like I said, you listen to it more easily because it's also introverted. So imagine it's like you are speaking Elven, and your newbie is also an elf. So it's very easy to communicate. It's not a stretch to figure out what he's talking about and how he's seeing the world, because you both, go into your past and relive your experiences to gain knowledge and to make decisions and whatnot. So be careful. Be careful with that. That's always the warning for everybody, is beware the newbie. After that, you have your escort, which is your, like I said, inferior or aspirational cognitive function. And it's always the mirror opposite of your hero style. So your hero style is technically introverted sensing. So the mirror opposite would be extroverted intuition. Introverted sensing is all about that tangible, real information that you've gleaned from your past, right? And that you can use to check reliability now and into the future a little bit. But extroverted intuition is abstract and it's broad. It's not focused on depth. It's just like, what can I understand about all of this stuff abstractly? Don't care about, the actual weight of it or the material or whatever. It's just, what does it look like? What does it remind me of? And then, what could happen from there? And that's predicting more into the future. And I think of this as a gunslinger, like a dwarf hunter with a shotgun that's just, plowing through the forest and exploring and just, can't be stopped. Wants all these new challenges and any novelty. Anything new is cool and interesting. It's gonna pull that gunslinger out to explore. But it's an escort, so it's AI, and it's crappy, and it causes you problems. It gets bugged out, and it gets stuck in rocks. It just, stops moving every once in a while, and you have no idea what's going on. So this comes out in a more real sense with what's called catastrophizing, which is basically predicting what could happen into the future, and it's just not healthy. Like, it's just this one thing happened, and then you assume that all these other bad things could come from it. And it's basically showing you that, as much as you try, you can't prepare for everything. And, you have a compulsion to seek reliability and stability, right? So it's not healthy to embrace it all the time, and it causes you these problems. But what you can do is just accept that it's a part of your group, and it's gonna come out sometimes, and it's gonna come out more when you don't let it. Like, when you're trying to suppress it, basically, then it's gonna be like, okay, well, I'm getting bored, and I'm gonna go start fighting and shooting stuff. So take it out and play with it. Take out your gunslinger character and, let him run around and and figure out what's going on and slowly level up and improve. Don't rely on it in times of, dire need. And this is the same with the newbie too. Like, you're gonna want to let yourself use it, but always keep it in check with extroverted feeling with your companion. So put it all together, and you have your hero wanting stability and reliability and tangible, real information. And then your companion is trying to make sure everybody feels good in the environment and around you, and at work and home and all your social groups. And those two together are awesome for you. You want to rely on both of those to put you into flow and motivation and a growth state. But you do have those other two members, the newbie, which is introverted thinking, and it's using technical knowledge to make decisions, and explore things, take apart a TV or something and fiddle with it, do a puzzle or something like that to help become more comfortable using it. And the older you get, the more reliable it's going to be, hopefully, if you keep that in mind, that it is a part of your mental wiring. And then your escort is going to let you explore things a bit more and just run around and not need stable decisions and a stable house and all this other stuff. It lets you take a different path to work and try different foods and talk to new people, because why not, right? So eventually they're all going to work together if you work on yourself through personal growth and whatnot. If you have any questions, please write below, or comments or anything you just want to talk. That's cool. I want to make sure that I'm hitting all the main points with these profile videos. Check out the website, www.boss-mod.com. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. All right, guys. Good luck, have fun. See ya.